All these Source 2 games are hosted by by whoever makes the lobby. There are no well, there's no real dedicated server option. Some of us in the modding community have figured out a hack that kind of works, but it's pretty bad. So everybody just hosts wherever they are. I'm in US East, and you know, this game being an action-oriented game is, well, pretty lag dependent, and so I tried to get people who are known to me to get decent pings to my server to US East. That said, I also got a German guy, so we'll see if he gets stomped. Yeah. See, that's the German guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The minimap is actually always missing in Source 2 until the game loads in, at least at this point. Once the game loads, you'll be able to see it just fine. So, alright, so once we get going here, the idea is everybody gets to pick their hero. There are no differences, however. Every single hero starts off with the same stats, same turn rate, same movement speed, same items, same abilities, and with no issues whatsoever. But at the start, you do get some cash that you can spend to pick up an ability or upgrade your initial items. And the initial items are very important. You're going to get dash boots and a stick shooter, as it's somewhat affectionately known, which is basically your pistol. And that's what makes the first round effectively a pistol round. Everybody just has more or less the same thing, and the action doesn't really ramp up until you get a few rounds in, which is good, because if you start cold, this game can be pretty brutal. I think that should be obvious once we get going, but I'm hoping we'll see some pretty spectacular maneuvers by people in this game that I know to be pretty good at it. Unfortunately, it looks like Noya may be having a packet failure. It is possible to pause, as Pizza LOL just did, and wait for him to join. This is what I was talking about. So most likely he ran into an issue with Source 2, where when you try and load into the game, you get a packet failure connecting to the game server, which is indicated because you get a custom loading screen. I don't know why that's the case, but you do. You get your custom loading screen, something out of the workshop, whatever you have configured in your armory. If you get the default red Dota background, as I did when I was loading in, that means you're actually going to make it in. In this case, hopefully he's reconnecting. I'm going to pop the console up and see if I'm getting any messages from him. If not, we may have to restart, but that's Source 2 for you. We have let Valve know about this issue. In fact, I've known about this issue since literally 3 days after they put the workshop tools out, and I assume Valve has as well, but they haven't fixed it, and that's a bit disappointing to me, but hopefully they will soon. Realistically, they can't put anything out when it's doing this. It's a complicated issue, I'm sure, but it's also very frustrating from somebody like me's perspective where, you know, I want people to be able to play the games that I'm making. I want to get feedback. I want people to enjoy them. I don't want people to have to sit here and wait for, you know, people to load in and have to deal with those issues. It's just not great for everybody. But with luck, that'll be fixed. Who knows? New Bloom, whatever. So, yeah, this is the base Reflex map. It's very tight, very, close quarters. There's not a lot of areas to go, however, there are, different high ground points, like these, towers. I'm getting told we need to remake that. That's not great. Let me, check real quick one thing. And I'm being told he's loading. I'm also being told his game crashed. That's fantastic. But I'm sure he'll be in here. I'm watching now in case he messages me. But yes, we have these 3 high grounds here that are, you know, small, but they're, you know, they give you vision of everything in the area, including this mid ground. And vision is extremely important because everything moves very quickly, and you can set up a lot of stuff by having vision when others don't. For example, there are items in the game such as the detonator, which does a channel time, a channeled cast that on when the channel finishes will explode and do massive damage to everything around you. But everybody in the game is going to get a danger indicator for that, and you'll see what those are in a second, I'm sure, telling you that that's happening, let alone the sound effect and everything else that's going on. But if you do that out of vision, they can't see any of that or hear any of that, and so if somebody chases you up the hill without knowing that's what you're going to do, you can detonate right in their face and potentially turn an entire round just on one ability use. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. Yeah, we may need to do a remake. That's not ideal. Yeah, those asking about Warlocks, there is the Warlock. Oh, there he is. Great, we're in. So we can get going. Now, this isn't going to be very exciting from a casting perspective. Someone needs to unpause the game. I can't as a broadcaster. But this isn't going to be very exciting because they're just going to pick their heroes and the heroes don't matter. So, you know. Unlike regular Dota. Those are asking about Warlocks. There is Warlock Brawl on the workshop and available in the Lobby Explorer to play. It is made by the original Warlocks devs. I haven't looked at it in a while, but last time I did, they'd made a lot of progress and it seemed to be pretty close to the original. So if you like Warlocks, then by all means, it should be there in Dota 2 and available to play. If you like Warlocks, I think you'll like Reflex. There's a lot of similarities going on between them. And, you know, so I hope you'll give it a shot, but we will see. But yeah, there's a bunch of games. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff. I mean, really random things. There's Bomberman on the Lobby Explorer. Oh, holy crap. I don't know what that was. There's Pictionary, which is actually hilarious. I recommend trying that if you do pick up the Lobby Explorer. But anyway, this is pre-round 1. So everybody starts off stunned, and they get to buy various items and abilities. You can see that everybody starts off with this simple shooter. That's the stick I mentioned before, and the dash, which allows them to dash around like a force staff. These are on charges, so they can only dash twice, and each charge recharges in 6 seconds, and they'll be able to do it thereafter. The blue dots up here indicate the number of charges that they have as well available to them, and so you can see if somebody runs out of dashes, they're in a very dire situation and can easily get picked off, because while everybody has the same movement speed, it's not all that large. It's not all that fast. You can see we have Vanity Vodka, our resident German here, has picked up Power Shot as his initial ability. Power Shot, it works just like the Wind Ranger version in Dota. Charge it up, do more damage. It does give vision, which, as I said before, is actually quite useful. Noya is getting absolutely destroyed here. As you can see, these actual pistol shots are quite effective as long as you can land them, but they're not the fastest things in the world. They have a very quick recharge time and a very low mana cost at 101 second cooldown. Mana, as you can probably tell from looking at this, is at a high recharge rate and more readily approximates an energy bar. You can easily run out of it, especially when you get into higher level items and abilities, and there we go. That Power Shot that I was pointing out takes down Mill to get the first blood. There is no bonus for getting first blood, unlike Dota. However, of course, it does get your team a leg up. Up here we can see that despite that, you know, Dire has a good HP advantage, and looks like, yep, they just took him out. So that's 2 down, 1 left for Radiant. It's our resident German. He's picked up the last man standing buff, which, as you can see here, given by this icon. It's a 20-second buff that occurs for the person on the team who becomes the last man standing. So in this case, he's against 2 people, so he gets a damage bonus of about 50% damage, and that scales depending on how many people are alive. He completely squandered it, however, and didn't land a single shot during that time, but it's there to try and help you turn things around and get ahead when you're actually behind. So round 1's over, it goes to the Dire, and for winning round 1, they get 1,250 gold, although for losing round 1, the Radiant also get 1,250 gold, but they get 1 level to spend on abilities, whereas Radiant gets 2 levels, and this is trying to help them to, you know, secure their way back into the game. So we should be able to see that most likely, yep, Vanity Vodka has upgraded his Power Shot to level 2, which Dire would not be able to do because they don't have the requisite levels and ability points. We can also see that Noya here on Terrorblade has upgraded his boots to level 3, which is indicated by the blue outline. And this gives him 4 dashes to work with, making him incredibly more mobile than everybody else right now in the game, who, as you can see, only have 2 or 1 dash to work with even. Unfortunately, he only has a green stick, level 2 simple shooter, to work with for damage, so despite being incredibly mobile, he's got to be extremely good at landing those shots to really make it count. Otherwise, he's probably going to, fall behind and let his team down. At the start here, we can see Radiant's losing a little bit on the HP, but that connected quite well on Mill, who is going down to 80 HP and is going to need to really pull some stuff out if he's going to survive much longer in this round. Though maybe if they chase too far, they're going to take too much damage, as Summit LFT here has picked up quite a bit of damage just trying to take Mill out. In Reflex, there are no direct ways to heal immediately in the round. You only have the HP you come in with and leave with. However, there are abilities that allow you to heal if used appropriately. There are abilities such as Borrowed Time, which, unlike the Dota version, does not automatically activate, but is required. It's required that you manually activate it. But if you manually activate it and then dive right into a couple of shots, you can pick up some health. You can also see the other way to heal here by Summit LFT, who's picked up the Scaredy Cat ability, a passive that causes you to gain a movement speed and health regen when somebody on your team dies. Unfortunately, he didn't make much use of it because it's like a HP salve, where if you get hit, it's gone. So the idea with Scaredy Cat is when somebody dies, you book it. You don't want to get hit by anything, so you can let that regen take, do its work. So that's 2-0 now for Dire. Radiant's really going to need to pull something out here and make things happen. We got Venivity Vodka, who's prioritizing picking up abilities, which is probably good. When you're losing and you get more ability points, it's useful to pick up abilities since you're going to have them more powerful than the other team for at least a couple of rounds. You can see that these two on this team have picked up Flame Sword ability, which is probably going to demonstrate what I was talking about earlier with danger indicators. So there we go. He charged in and connected right onto Mill with that Flame Sword, which actually does a good bit of damage. It also leaves this trail of fire that, if you stand in, of course, will cause damage. But you can see there that the green danger indicators indicate that that is safe for Radiant and dangerous for Dire. When you're playing the game, it's just like in Dota. If you're on Dire, then they'll be green, meaning safe to you, and red meaning dangerous. So you don't have to worry about, switching context or anything. Summit LT is really in no man's land here against 3, but doing a pretty good job of dodging things. As Pizza LOL takes a shot to the face and goes down. He needed to be more careful about that. This looks really bad for Dire, as they are quite low on health and don't seem to have too much coming for them. That sword connected, but he didn't charge it very long. The way Flame Sword works is that you can charge it for up to 3 seconds, where it'll do more damage the longer you charge it, as well as create a fire field that's longer based on the time. Solomonella, oh, there he goes. Triple kill for Summit LFT as he runs away with that round without any issues whatsoever, it seems, and making use of Scaredy Cat when his teammate went down there. He's also gone for the Simple Shooter 4, which is a very powerful thing, just upgrading your pistol all the way to the max level. It does a lot more damage, moves faster, and has a better range on it, so it's quite good if you're a good dogfighter. And in this case, when I mean dogfighting, I mean taking on 1v1s, 1v2s, 1v3s, what have you, at close range, while dodging around and making sure that your shots connect. So that's one round for the Radiant, which is good, because it means that this game may not be a complete stomp, which would be a little bit disappointing. Pizza LOL has picked up and leveled up his charge ability, as well as Phase Shift, which works, as you might expect, just like the Dota version, allowing you to dodge shots that come in effectively. Mill is in no man's land here. This is not great, although he did make some good use out of it with the Breathe Fire ability. Breathe Fire is an ability that basically works like the one from Holdout, if you remember that, Frostivus for game mode, and allows you to do massive cone damage in front of you, but you have to stand still to do it, and if you haven't gathered by now, standing still in Reflex can be extremely dangerous. That said, Breathe Fire does a ton of damage, as you can see him destroying Noya there. Excellent dodge by Pizza LOL, who would have been surely killed if he got hit by that Flame Sword coming in from Venivity Vodka there, and he lives to fight more, which is great, because they are in dire straits on Radiant, as we can see. The Venivity Vodka and Summit LFT are both extremely low. Summit LFT is probably hoping, oh, that's too bad, cross kill goes their way, and Venivity Vodka is left as the last man standing. But against Solomonella here, who has quite a bit of HP, it's unlikely he will be able to turn this around. However, stranger things have happened. He's only got about 6 or 7 seconds left and is unable to do it. That's another win for the Dire. Alright, as you can tell, a lot of stuff happens here fast. I'm trying to cover it to the best of my ability, but I'm certainly no professional caster, and I'm going to miss things. I'll try and look for questions if anybody has them between rounds and see if I can, you know, fill things in where there might be questions. Here's actually another thing. There's a damage indicator you can pull up, a damage panel. They can't see, well, they can see for their team, but they can't see for everybody, and we can see that right now Pizza LOL is not doing so great, and Noi's a little bit behind for his team, but everybody else is doing pretty well on total damage. Got a bloodbath going down here on the bottom mound. Solomonella has picked up a blast cannon, which is, shoots out deafening blast projectiles. Does good damage at close range, but the projectiles move fairly slow, so you have to get close in order to knock into people like that. It also uses a good bit of mana, so you need to be careful that you don't run yourself out of energy and then get stuck. That said, Noi just got absolutely obliterated by what I think was the Meteor Cannon. Meteor Cannon, well, as it sounds, shoots out a meteor at extreme speeds and collides with people from long distances. However, it does require that you channel it up in order to get it out. So this round looks like it started off pretty well for the Dire, but Pizza LOL looks to be dying off here pretty soon, and then it'll be all up to Solomonello to take a 2v1. But he does have completely full HP until he was connected with that Crippler right there, which is actually quite strong. The Crippler looks like the Venomous Gale from Venomancer, and when it connects with somebody, prevents them from dashing for the duration, which is exceptionally powerful. You can combo so many things into that without much issue. But Pizza LOL goes down, and Solomonella's up with Last Man Standing. He's going to try and make do with it, but I don't know. We'll see if he's able to pull this off. He's got quite a bit of HP going for him, but any 2v1 is quite difficult to handle if they're capable of handling the issue. He gets hit by Crippler there, and Veni Vidi Vodka somehow still misses his Flame Sword despite being completely set up for that one. I'm not sure how that happened, but I guess he is German, so maybe the ping issue got to him. Last Man Standing is out, so the damages are back to normal, and Veni Vidi Vodka goes down, charging straight in, takes a blast cannon to the face. Summoned LFT, you can see, has picked up the Scaredy Cat buff and is regenning some health, which is going to help him in taking out Solomonella here in this 1v1. But not if he's going to get hit by that, as he goes right back down to being really close to death. In fact, one shot here from just about anything Solomonella throws at him will take him out, whereas I think he needs to connect with at least two. And there he goes, one shot and he's down. Solomonella takes the 2v1 and brings Dire up to 4 rounds, 1. For Reflex, the object is to win 8 rounds, meaning that the game can go to a total of possible 15 rounds. As I said before, the Radiant here are getting more ability points, which they can spend on any of the abilities in here, or of course, and they can buy any of the items. If you're losing, it's good to try and get abilities that are going to complement your team or handle the enemy. We can see that Noya here has picked up Flare, which gives a lot of vision. It's useful in this case, but maybe not as useful as if he'd picked up, say, the health boost ability, which would give him a lot more health to work with. As you can see, Solomonella has picked up as his only ability the health boost ability, because it does give quite a lot of extra tank. And I completely missed Pizza LOL going and getting absolutely destroyed early on, it seems like this, and looks like Radiant might have a good chance to take this one if they can keep up this momentum. Ivor Robotnik 888, you do not have to download much to play this. In fact, the only thing that you really need to download is the Get Dota Stats Lobby Explorer, which will then allow you to host and join games like Reflex, and if you don't have the game, they'll even prompt you to download and subscribe to the game via the workshop. Other than that, I guess actually the main thing... Oh, wow. Flame Sword into Flame Sword, and Solomonella gets absolutely destroyed by that. Huge damage, and Radiant takes that round. But yes, the Dota 2 workshop tools are quite a large download, and unfortunately are required to play this at as it stands. So Radiant takes that round. Let's check what everybody's got here. This is I built this spectator UI to try and help me broadcast this. As you can tell, there's a lot going on. We can see some LFT has picked up Borrowed Time, as I said before, so you might be able to steal some HP back by jumping into things. We've got Spirit Orbs picked up by Pizza LOL, which is a bit aggressive considering he doesn't have a lot of HP and seems to be missing, getting destroyed when he moves in. And Spirit Orbs requires you to be quite close. Oh, he gets caught by the Crippler and then hit by a Flame Sword. This is just not his game, it would seem. Let's pull this down so we can get more. Summoned LFT there activated his Borrowed Time and was able to soak up the damage of one of those blast cannons. However, you can see that Borrowed Time has quite a long cooldown and a very short duration, so you have to use it in good scenarios, and it's possible to bait it out. as often happens when I play this. I like to go borrowed time, and against players I usually play with, like Salmonella and others, they will frequently bait out my borrowed time and then, you know, throw nothing at me, and it's quite disappointing. Pizza has managed to live for a while, as Mill looks like he might go down as well to that crippler, preventing him from getting away, and Veni Vidi Vodka comes in with a flame sword and absolutely obliterates Pizza LOL. This looks like a bloodbath for the Radiant. I don't know if there's going to be able to pull anything off here. Solomon now has to handle a 1v3 and gets crippled. He is going to go absolutely flattened here, I think. I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything. This is quite dire for him, as he doesn't have the strongest dogfighting build in the world. And again, this is what I mean by dogfighting, is being able to fight people up close and personal. And there he goes down in the middle of last man standing, and it brings it to a 3-4 game, with Radiant coming back from a 1-4 deficit. So, Salmonella here, since it seems pretty obvious that his team is kind of letting him down at this point, might want to think about picking up abilities that assist him in that way. There are two abilities, Vengeance and Scaredy Cat, which go into effect when somebody on your team dies and allows you to pick up some health as well as damage reduction and really lay into people. Additionally, he could go for higher dogfighting abilities like Phase Shift and Borrowed Time, which would give him more sustain and the ability to go up against people up close and personal without having to worry as much about getting, you know, 1v3'd or so on. Oh, Meteor just strikes Summit LFT right in the face. One of the philosophies I work with on Reflex is that everything has to be dodgeable, or the game just isn't, you know, fun and doesn't reward your reflexes. I make an exception for Meteor Cannon because it's just too fun to slam people from far off. Wow, Radiant is getting absolutely obliterated here. Noya took a massive flame breath earlier from Mill. Wasn't able to get out of that, as these guys are just cornered now, with Summit LFT going down to Pizza LOL's Spirit Orbs, which he used while phase shifted to ensure that they hit when he couldn't be hurt by it. That said, Dire's taking a ton of damage here, and this is going to be pretty close, as there are two alive, but they have very low HP. And meanwhile, Veni Vidi Vodka over here has Last Man Standing, which he's squandering, but has tons of HP to work with even without Last Man Standing, as he takes the high ground and is hoping probably to catch somebody a little bit off guard. Pizza LOL is extremely low on HP here and doesn't really have any way to pick it up. But with, oh! That's unfortunate. He had Phase Shift, but wasn't quick enough. The high ground really got to him there. Salmonella is 1 HP away from going down, and I don't know if he's going to be able to pull this one out. He does dodge that Flame Sword quite well and connects back with a Blast Cannon shot. Really definitely dodges those long shot blasts, which looks like the Magnetar Shockwave. But he's got a lot of room to cover. 1241 HP, and he's got one hit to work with and no way to pull anything out here from anything specific. He's going to use the mid-ground advantage to try and, you know, connect with the Crippler there, but he wasn't able to do it. He does have to watch out for all of this, and you have to remember that Veni Vidi Vodka also has a power shot, which is, wow, oh, okay. Finally goes down after a series of pretty impressive dodges. As you can see, he is not happy about that. He put up a good fight, though. We can see when we look at the last round damage, Mill actually did an exceptional amount of damage, mostly with that Flame Breath. It's quite powerful, especially when used from high ground, but Salmonella is still putting in a lot of work. As you can see, he has the highest damage in the game, with the second going to Summit LFT on the Radiant. We are all tied up now at 4-4. As I said before, the game goes to 8 rounds, so we're probably going to see some higher level items or higher level abilities come out. We might hopefully see some pretty spectacular play coming in. Salmonella takes Crippler to the face, but little follow-up there. Pizza LOL has gone and picked up Holy Shield, which is a projectile-based ability that allows you to protect people on your team as well as yourself. And oh my god, that was obliteration. Mill gets hit by the Crippler and goes down to a Flame Sword charge combo. You gotta be more careful about this. Pizza LOL with that is not going to take very much damage, but only for the duration that it lasts, as he charges down Summit LFT, making this a 2-2 man game here. Noya's picked up Scaredy Cat as well, you can see, and he's healed back to full after the death of his teammate Summit LFT, giving him a pretty good advantage and ability to keep moving. Salmonella catches Veni Vidi Vodka, excuse me, with Crippler and is able to land 2 deafening blast shots, or blast cannon shots rather. And another one on Noya. Pizza LOL trying to chase down Veni Vidi Vodka and make this a 2v1 if he can handle it. Veni Vidi Vodka manages to dodge several shots there as well as avoid the Spirit Orbs. It comes back with the charge Flame Sword combo, but is expertly dodged by Pizza LOL's phase shift. Noya, meanwhile, takes out Salmonella, and I guess dogfight I should have been watching, but Pizza LOL has picked up Last Man Standing and should hopefully be able to at least take out Vanity Vodka, and he does. That was a wicked 6 streak. He's been doing quite well so far. Now, Pizza LOL still has, wow, that's a lot of damage from Last Man Standing. He absolutely destroys Noya. So that's what I'm talking about. Having Last Man Standing lets you really get in people's faces and do a ton of damage, but you have to take advantage of those 20 seconds. Sergeant Snitchel, yes, there is a Sunstrike item in this. It's called Sunstrike Barrage, and potentially gives you up to 5 charges of Sunstrike, which you can drop all within 1 second. It's it's quite powerful. However, it's quite easy to dodge, and it can be countered by picking up things like Borrowed Time and jumping right into it. So that was a round for the Dire, the first one they've won in 4 rounds straight, making it now 5-4. Pizza LOL charges in, goes for the phase shift with Spirit Orbs out, but is unable to connect with much of anything. But he does charge in and get a Shotgun Blast, which is what the Queen of Pain thing there is. Mill takes his Flame Sword to the face, bringing them quite a bit down, actually. Radiant's getting the better of this exchange right now, though they've also just picked up more health boosts to give them a lot more to work with here. Both Cripplers miss and are unable to be capitalized on. Vanity Vodka is just diving past people, but has taken no damage almost at all. Summon LFT is quite low. He needs to be careful, but he does have Scaredy Cat, so if he can manage to stay alive until somebody else on his team dies, he will pick up a good bit of his HP. He dives in with Borrowed Time and actually manages to pick up about 300 HP, but then gets hit by a Crippler and is knocked back. He uses the Air Burst to push away Mill to make sure that he can stay alive, but unfortunately that was a long cooldown that he had to expend there, and now he's got to be very careful about this. Noya too is very low. He uses the Flame Sword to push away Pizza LOL, but without a large charge on it, it doesn't do much damage. The knockback is quite good though, and probably saved him there. This is extremely close, as 2 people on either team are incredibly low, but Noya is the first to go down. Summon LFT had picked up his Scaredy Cat and actually used his Borrowed Time and jumped into a Meteor Cannon shot, bringing him back up to a lot of HP, but Mill takes him down really fast again with the Fire Breath, and then finishes him off with a Power Shot. So we've got Vanity Vodka over here with a ton of HP and Last Man Standing versus 2 quite low, Pizza LOL and Mill. I am really not feeling for them as they get hit by, oh wow, Pizza LOL just takes a Last Man Standing long shot to the face, leaving Mill as the sole survivor who has to take out with his 422 HP, Vanity Vodka's 2235. Well, phase shifts everything there and then goes for the Flame Breath, which does do a pretty good amount of damage, but he's got a lot of ground to cover, and it's going to be quite tough, I think, for him. Stranger things have happened, as he does do a short-range Meteor shot into Vanity Vodka, interrupting his attempt to Flame Sword Mill and charge at him. Ooh, he takes another Meteor shot. Those are quite hard to land when it's just in a 1v1. Again, with a Power Shot, Mill is closing the ground here quite well. Phase shift dodges and goes for the... Oh my god! I thought he was going to do it, but the Power Shot finishes him off. It was very close. Mill put up an excellent fight there, and I had no faith in him, but he almost did it. We're up to 5-5 now, and we can see Mill actually, yeah, 3,200 damage last round. Quite a lot, but just not quite enough. If we check the items and abilities, we can see that some people have filled up already on abilities, but they're still likely leveling them up. You can only have 6. You can swap them around on your bar, but you cannot sell them once you have them, at least for the moment. I may put that in later. Radiant actually starts off with a Smoke Grenade, which is used to invis them, but it doesn't seem like that was communicated very well, as 2 of them broke it immediately, and the other was unable to make use of it. Mill gets hit by a Crippler, and is hit by 2 Shotgun Blasts very quickly, as Summon LFT uses his Borrowed Time in order to try and absorb some damage from Salmonella, who doesn't take the bait. Pizza LOL is over here fighting against Vanity Vodka, and Vanity Vodka is diving into 3 people, desperate it seems to get any damage he can here. Pizza LOL puts up a good shield, manages to reduce most of the damage coming in from those long shot shots of Vanity Vodka, who is now taking a ton of damage by going for that dive. He gets crippled and takes a Blast Cannon to the face and is extremely low here. This may not go nearly as well as the last round did for him, as he's being chased and they're trying to finish him off as early as they can. That said, Pizza LOL, Mill, and Salmonella have all taken a good bit of damage as they do manage to get Vanity Vodka down. Finally. Summon LFT and Noya both get their Scaredy Cat picked up from that, but Noya's gets cleared quite quickly, as Summon LFT now has managed to dodge everything and gets the entire heal out of his Scaredy Cat, bringing him back up to 868 health. Mill connects with a Power Shot and manages to dive in, but the Borrowed Time comes out and he tries to steal some health and is unable to. Dire is extremely low on HP here, but they do still have a 3-2 advantage, and may be able to make some work out of this if possible. Power Shot connects again well on Summon LFT. Mill is actually picked up and really started shooting incredibly well. I mean, I don't know if he necessarily wasn't before, but he has been on point the last few rounds as Summon LFT is getting extremely low and maybe going down here quite soon. With the Flame Breath, Mill actually takes Noya down and doesn't almost take any damage back to him at all. He is absolutely the MVP for these last couple of rounds for the Dire. Pizza LOL runs in with with Holy Shield up and takes some damage going down to 13 HP when he gets cleaned up by Noya's Flame Sword. Salmonella has now picked up the Vengeance buff from his teammate dying. Oh, wow. Meteor strikes him, but doesn't seem to do much damage. Noya goes down, and it's over. Dire victory, 6-5. Mistakes were made. Yeah. So, Dire, for the longest time there, had basically no HP left on people, but were able to really stick that out for a lot longer than I thought they should, and come out with the win. Pizza LOL's picked up Borrowed Time, and is going to try and probably absorb some HP back with that. Rubik, Salmonella here, has Scaredy Cap, but in the last round when his teammate died, he actually ran in and took damage, causing him to lose... What the hell was that? Sorry, that was a random particle effect I've never seen before. Maybe it's a broadcaster thing. Alright, well anyway, the round starts off. Pizza LOL takes a good bit of damage, as does Vidi Vidi Vodka in their respective dogfights. Mill aims the power shot, but doesn't connect with anything. Salmonella goes in and gets crippled, takes a couple of shotgun blasts to the face, and Summon LFT manages to borrow time his blast cannon shot. I can't remember what it's called, it's pretty bad. Yeah, Pizza LL is quite low here, takes Crippler. Ooh. That air burst from Summon LFT really pushed everybody away and prevented them from capitalizing. As Salmonella and Pizza LO are incredibly low here. This round is not going nearly as well as the previous one. Pizza LO is trying to get away and trying to survive using his Holy Shield, and manages to, oh, he runs right into a pistol shot, simple shooter stick shot from Summon LFT, leaving Mill as the only one alive, trying to 1v3 with Last Man Standing. He drops the Flame Breath and almost kills 2 people as they charge into him. Last Man Standing with that Flame Breath is absurd amounts of damage, but unfortunately, no one was low enough to really get ahead there. He did the best he could, though. It was the right call. 6-6. We're moving into, I guess that's, what, round 13? Like I said, it can only go up to 15, and I'm actually quite happy with how close this game has gone has been so far, as I was a little bit afraid we might get a stomp here. But yeah, it's any team's game, back and forth the whole time. So we can see everybody's picking up more boosters, HP booster, mana booster, energy boosters. Veni Vodka uses a wormhole in order to dive in. It's something you can only use, it's a consumable that can only be used once every couple of rounds and allows you to blink anywhere on the map instantly. He attempted to use it in order to land a full charge Flame Sword, but was unable to do so and really basically wasted that. Pizza LOL uses his Borrowed Time here to absorb a shotgun blast, but since he took one right before that, it kind of just evened out. He has not been able to do too much to Summon LFT, but actually lands a couple of shotgun shots there to make it a bit closer. Summon LFT uses Borrowed Time, but isn't able to absorb much of anything. Salmonella uses his wormhole to dive in, but is actually unable to connect as well. All of these wormholes are going to waste. Veni Vidi Vodka gets that sword charge hit on Pizza LOL, who managed to have a Holy Shield up and didn't take a ton of damage from it, but he is still quite low, as we have Mill going down, leaving Pizza LOL with almost no HP, and there he goes. Salmonella is the last one standing, and he's got Last Man Standing to work with, but it is going to be tough to come back. He's got Vengeance now for only a couple more seconds, which allows him to do a ton of damage and absorb a lot, but there's just a lot of hill to climb here, as he's only got about 5 seconds left on Last Man Standing to really make stuff count. Summon LFT tries to borrow time that shot coming in, but is really unable to actually connect and waste his cooldown. It's unfortunate for him. But at the same time, Last Man Standing is out, and what we have here now is a 1v3 with a pretty big HP differential that Salmonella is going to have to make up by himself. He hopes to pull this round out for his team. He manages to dodge that Flame Sword, and another one, but can't connect with Crippler on Veni Vidi Vodka coming in, going for the charge. Summon LFT tries to get the Borrowed Time and absorb some HP, but Salmonella isn't taking the bait. Unfortunately, he isn't able to dive too far in and finish off Veni Vidi Vodka, but he is actually making some headway here. He's certainly winning on the shots sent to shots taken. Summon LFT gets destroyed, Noya gets hit, and he loses his Scaredy Cat, which is exactly what Salmonella needed to do to prevent it from healing too much. Veni Vodka's vengeance has run out, and again, now it's just a 2v1. Is Salmonella actually going to be able to do this? I really don't know, but it looks like he might, as he manages to dodge Noya's Flame Sword and hit him with the Blast Cannon. Veni Vodka lands a power shot, and Salmonella's down to 226 health, but he's got Noya at 3 health. Oh, he goes down. What a valiant effort. That was really, really tough, but I was starting to believe he could do it there at the end. Quite unfortunate for him, but he put up an extremely good dogfight in a 1v3 scenario that's exceptionally hard to handle with even the best of lag. 7-6 now, that's match point. If Radiant takes this, they will win the whole game. But Dire, as you can see, still has a chance and may be able to pull this out. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, Salmonella did almost 6,000 damage last round. That's absolutely insane to do that much damage. His team kind of dropped the ball. Maybe they're working out a strategy and they'll be able to pull something off. Starting off slow with just a couple of long shots fired across. Peppering in a little bit of damage, but it does add up. I mean, you know, one shot can easily make or break a game, as you might have been able to tell from the last round. If Salmonella had dodged one shot earlier, or if he managed to connect with one other earlier and brought it down to a 2v1 quick, well, that could easily have given them the advantage they needed. Misses with the Crippler there, but is able to continue on and drop the Blast Cannon to connect and do some damage. Salmonella team, meanwhile, is taking a ton of damage and gets crippled. He goes for the borrowed time, but isn't able to absorb anything, and again, the cooldown is wasted. Salmonella dives in and manages to connect with the Blast Cannon before he gets pushed out by the Air Burst, and Salmonella team looks to be gone. Salmonella is not playing around. He does not want to lose this one right here. However, he is quite low and doesn't have a good way to regen other than Scaredy Cat, which will require somebody on his team dying to make use of. Noya, however, is really out here with 3 people bearing down on him, and he takes a ton of damage. Pizza LO protected Salmonella there with the Holy Shield and helped him to live a bit longer. Or Veni Vodka tracks down and destroys Mill. 2,400 HP on Veni Vodka, so even if Noya gets taken down here, it could be quite challenging. Unfortunately, it looks like Salmonella took a long shot hit while his Scaredy Cat was running and wasn't able to heal as much as he probably would have liked to in order to try and make this a closer match. Veni Vodka, oh, he gets baited and takes the Crippler, but Salmonella uncharacteristically misses the close range detonator blasts. That's unfortunate. They did get a lot of damage out of it as he goes and tries to finish off Noya here. Finishing off Noya, however, is going to give last man standing to Veni Vodka, which could be problematic for his team, as there it goes. So Veni Vodka has Vengeance, giving him a damage reduction, and last man standing giving him a damage boost. And yet, Dire is still going in. They want this kill. They're going to make sure that he does not pull this out, and that we go to a full 15-round game, unless Veni Vodka can turn around here and pull off some spectacular moves. He does connect with the Flame Sword. Pizza Aloha had the Holy Shield going for him and was able to absorb most of the damage, where Veni Vodka goes down, and it's now 7-7. I can't believe this. It's a 15-round game. The winner of this next round takes the whole thing. I couldn't have asked for a better show match. These guys have played extremely well and done really phenomenally. I'm hoping you're enjoying this. I know I haven't been able to answer any questions. You can tell it's quite a lot just to keep up with the action, which I probably not doing a tremendous job of. But this is the final round. So at this point, you might as well buy anything you can. Everybody's full up on abilities, 6-6. Almost every slot is covered by everybody. It's all down to this round. And nobody wants to lose, as everybody's playing very shy here and sticking to their side of the map. And of course, that means Radiant's moved in first and managed to pick up some high ground. What you saw there, that was a Mega Flare coming out of Veni Vodka, who picked it up for this round. Unfortunately, Mega Flare requires that you lock people down pretty well in order to land. But they do have a bunch of Cripplers, as we've seen before, and so if they land that, he might be able to really drop a massive amount of damage on somebody with that oversized Mystic Flare. Pizza LOL and Salmonella are chasing down Veni Vodka and attempting to really just end him before he can be a nuisance, whereas Mill is getting also 2v1 over here and may go down first, as Veni Vodka is doing a better job of staying away. Mill goes in for the Flame Breath, but isn't able to connect with anything, and he's extremely low. The fucking, oh my god, Mega Flare just destroys him. Absolutely destroys him, leaving this a 3v2. Salmonella and Pizza LL versus the three Radiant heroes. Salmonella, however, still has most of his HP, and Pizza LOL is doing a pretty good job as well. Manages to dodge all of his long shots, but then gets hit by the Crippler. Holy Shield's keeping him going quite well here, as Salmonella is charging in into the protection of the Holy Shield and attempting to connect with Veni Vidi Vodka or Noya. What you can see there he picked up is a Magnetic Orb, an ability that allows you to steal other people's buffs as well as pull your teammates out of danger. Looks like Pizza LO may have that as well. Manages to dodge everything. Oh, but he's so low. 2 HP on Pizza LOL. He's got 4 seconds until borrowed time. He puts up Holy Shield. That's not going to be enough. He's got 1 second. 1 second on borrowed time. He hits it. He absorbs like 400 damage. It's not bad at all, but then gets hit by a Crippler. Whereas Salmonella, meanwhile, managed to kill off Noya. Pizza LOL has gone down. Salmonella just used his Magnetic Orb to steal Summon LFT's Vengeance and Scaredy Cat and is now using it for himself in order to chase after and hopefully take down Summon LFT and Veni Vidi Vodka. It's a 2v1 for everything here. Well, everything being the respective winning the show match. Last man standing unfortunately has run out, but Salmonella does still have quite a lot of HP on these guys. And so as long as he can play like he did in previous rounds, he may be able to pull this one out and win it for his team. However, he just took several long shots to the face, which adds up. 150 damage per shot. You can't discount that. As everybody's playing chicken here. Nobody wants to lose that. And again, he takes 3 to the face. Summon LFT goes in with the borrowed time bait and does in fact take a Crippler. Oh my god! What a way to end it. As Veni Vidi Vodka puts a full charge Flame Sword right on Salmonella, takes him out. 8 to 7, Radiant will do it. Excellent play by everybody here. That was actually really fun for me. I hope it was fun for everybody who got to watch it. I have no idea. That could have been complete chaos, carnage, absolutely no idea what's going on. But hopefully it seemed interesting enough.